Pisces, welcome to your bonus in-depth Celtic Cross reading. I hope you're well. I hope you're fabulous. Like always with Celtic Cross, take what resonates and leave what does not. And if a second energy pops up on your board today, then you reverse those energies as you see fit. But please do keep in mind this is about your collective's reading, not a them or they. A them or they might make an appearance, give an impression, or the shadow of an impression, but the emphasis is not them. It's about you, how you're thinking about it, reacting, feeling, etc. And also keep in mind, Celtic Cross is not specifically a love reading. I should say other things. Spiritual stuff, work stuff, family stuff, and then all variety types of love. Any and all of that. All right, let's get cracking. Oh, yes, and happy Halloween, which I did recall is tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow. So I decided to go ahead and wear the scariest thing I have, really. No, I thought about getting dressed up, and I usually do on camera for around Halloween, but I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep rolling with the t-shirt week because, I don't know, I've had such a nice leisurely week to do in-depth reads with no pressure. And I'm like, nah, let's keep going with t-shirt. But happy Halloween. Whenever I wear this, people ask me, oh my God, did you make that? And if so, where can I find it? Oh, thank you. I wished I had. Could have had a fortune by now. The AF series, anywhere you find it, is extremely popular. No, I wish I had created it now. I might do my own variation of it for my website. Not my website. I don't actually produce any of the clothing. I just upload the designs to it. But if you're so inclined, linked below. But no, you can find the AF stuff anywhere. All signs, Etsy, Amazon, those would be the top two. Wide variety in styles. Yeah, they're cool, right? So Pisces AF, some of you are. Yeah, highly recommend it. I have 3. I didn't buy any of them. They were all gifted to me by why did I say that? I'm thinking about when I used to have the mailbox open. They are all gifted to me by subscribers, and none of them Scorpios. And that was the joke. You're like a super Scorpio. Ha ha ha. I know. What's up? What's going on? Show me Pisces. Okay. Oh, the Lovers. Crossing, 5 of Pentacles. Queen of Wands is at the crown. Past is the Ace of Cups. Oh, okay. Exiting the 5 of Swords. Good. The less we see of that one, the better. Before you, the 6. Hey, you got this. Okay? High Priestess. Hell yeah, you are. Look at that. In your strengths. High Priestess, as it should be. Well done. Environment. 9 of Pentacles. Look at you. Hopes and Fears, the Magician. I respect that. Outcome is the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, you're working on something. It's all right. Forging new connections, making new friends, gathering new resources, starting something, a project. I don't know, but I like it. Here, the Lovers, straight away in the opening. Very strong connection. Immediately challenged with the 5 of Pentacles. It's either broken or it's been broken. And sometimes we think about putting work into it, maybe fixing it, maybe not. It's kind of in a non-committal position. It depends on your two's history. Have you already tried to fix things before and then you see where it ended up? Or, is it going to be one of those on and off connections where it's very, very, very powerfully felt on both sides, but 2 people aren't lining up in the right space and time? In other words, one person's ready to invest, the other one's isn't, and it still creates a disjointed effect. Okay. We'll have to take a look. Queen of Wands is at the crown. You're very fiery, aren't you? Oh, yeah. Taking care of yourself, looking good, feeling good. You got your glow. Okay, feeling alive. Attractive. Feeling attractive. Okay. Wanting to attract, I don't know. But yeah, you have a kind of natural fiery side, don't you? You have a flair. You're very attractive, or you're intentionally trying to attract. Not necessarily the lover. Perhaps you're just trying to be more open in spirit. Perhaps more creative. Perhaps a little bit more outgoing. I don't know. A little more expressive these days. I'm curious to see how you're using that. Ace of Cups is in the past. At what point in the past? I don't know. Recent, long-term, up to you. But Ace of Cups is in the past. Love. Feeling love. Wanting to be in love. Love. Okay. Exiting is the Five of Swords, as it's tied to the past. Yeah, there's some self-sabotage there, or manipulation, emotional manipulation. I don't quite know how it's running yet. Either you strongly believed yourself to be in love, and this was not true, or you strongly understood for the love to be the basis between you two, and it still wasn't correct. It's like I thought I was working with love here. So that in and of itself was self-sabotage. Again, it might have, again, with the Lovers' choice. So I'm saying that there was a 3D failure to lock it up, and there was likely an emotional failure to lock up, and a line up on both sides, I should say. But if one person believed it and honestly felt it, and the other person didn't, but we wanted to feel what we wanted to feel, and believe what we wanted to believe, I mean, again, it was still a failure to line up. Okay. But that's exiting. That's not so much an issue anymore. I think we've accepted the truth. 6 of Swords is before you in future, which is good. 6 beats the 5. Gets away from it. The falseness. The sabotage. Okay. All that. Okay, we're going to get away from that now. I no longer want to be in a position where I believe these things or feel them because it hurts. Let's let it go so we can be at peace with it. Okay? The High Priestess. In your strengths, as it should be, highly intuitive you are. Beautiful. Very nice. 9 of Pentacles in your environment. You are on your own. Loud, proud, and perfectly capable Pisces. Independent individuation. Most likely standing on your own 2 feet in your environment. The garden of your making. And you do quite well. You're very good. You're very stable. You're very capable. You have very independent nature. Okay. The Magician and your hopes and fears. I say that's fair. I always warn people all the time about the Magician. You got to be aware of your manifestation, and if you're involving someone else's emotions or participation, all the more reason to be doubly cautious. So I say, good for you. You want to believe in your manifestation. You do. You want to have hope for your manifestation, but you're afraid. What if I screw it up? What if I get it wrong? What if the universe gives me back something I can't handle, or it's just, hopes and fears. Not an outcome. Just a reflection of who we are on the inside. So I can see that you take manifestation seriously, and you probably exercise a lot of caution around it. 3 of Pentacles in the outcome. Yeah, I see you working on something. Like I said, forging new opportunities, new connections, new friends, something. But I see you building into your world a little more. You're already quite good at it, so you starting something wouldn't surprise me at all. So for perhaps some of you are starting new project work, or you're building into something from the ground up. But yeah, it could just be friends too. Connecting to new friends, absolutely. All right, the Lovers, show me. On the opening here. Let's see the Lovers, please. Okay. Oh, I tried to put 3 cups, 3 of wands. That played into it, didn't it? I'm putting these back, but I think I was supposed to see them. 3 of wands and the 3 of cups, that played into it, didn't it? The infrequency of connectivity. It felt like it was a scarce thing. So you had to connect to it whenever you could. Okay. Knight of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, right there. There you are. Knight of Cups, that's your court card. 7 of Swords. You had doubts from the beginning, but you wanted to show up to this in some way. You did. You had doubts, but you kept them, to the most part, for yourself, and I think that's where we see the beginning of the 5 of Swords, those doubts. I don't know if I should be putting myself over here. I don't know if I should be opening up like this. I don't know if I should be doing this. I don't know if I should be doing this. But you're saying, okay, I'm a big Pisces. I'm a big Pisces. I can make my own decisions. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I speak for myself. I want to be here. And you did. Okay? You did with that Lover's connection. I see how you showed up. Of your own free will, good. This is what I want for people. Stand on your own 2 feet. Make your own decisions. You have enough experience to know who you are by now. Or that's the idea of it. In some way you wanted to exercise your right to open up to this Lover's connection. I can see why. It strongly called to you. And there's your court card with the Knight of Cups. Softness, romanticism. Okay? Emotional expression. Oh, you played the game, my friend. I don't think you were trying to play like a game, as in mind games, because that's here. But you're like, I got to do it. I'm going to move my particular chess piece on that board. I'm going to do it. And you did. But you had doubts, though, from the very beginning. You had doubts. Okay. 5 of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, 2 of Swords. And what caused the break, contributed to it, was just outstanding heartbreak. There was so much confusion about lack of investment. It's like, I'm showing up, I'm doing my thing. Okay? I'm being, Pisces Don Juan over here. Well, you're trying to. You tried to express yourself. You tried to romanticize. You tried to be present for this very strong connection. You had doubts from the very beginning. I don't know about this, man. 7 of Swords. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be putting myself in front of this connection like that. I don't know. But you did. You did. Because you wanted to. Your free will as a person suggested you wanted to. Okay? I'm not knocking you for that. You tried. I don't blame you for trying to throw your hat into that arena. I'm just saying there's that voice from the very beginning that said, I don't know if I should be doing this. But nevertheless, you tried. You wanted to. What else is there to say? But those doubts were whispering to you from the very beginning. 5 of Pentacles in the challenge position. And to this day, it's like we don't understand. Why wasn't the investment in this better? Why is this 3 Swords? This is heartbreak and pain and lack of cooperation and trying to build into this, but it's not functioning. Scarcity was a big issue. Someone was not contributing well in this dynamic. Physically, 3D, or emotionally. But there's so much confusion about intent and purpose. What's the point of this? Yeah. So when you have evidence of that very early on in the connection, it's best to back out. If we're starting to, so very early on, it gets past the point of that sweetness and the cuteness and the attraction. Once you get past all that, and then you start to have significant doubts about the purpose of this, because it doesn't seem like someone's really trying. Yeah, that's when it's time to back away. There's a lot of heartbreak in there, a lot of unresolved heartbreak, and 5 of Pentacles. And to this day, what's the point of looking at it? What's the point? If taking this seriously, if investing in it, showing up to this, putting real time, energy, and effort and resources into it, if that didn't happen in the past, why would it be any better now? Right? So what's the point of my looking at this? It still hurts. I know what the bottom line is, and the bottom line is that it sucks. Somebody's always under-contributing. Yeah, right, with the Lovers it takes 2, and 2 people have to line up. Okay. I know big portions of this still confuse you to this day. Particularly, why did you ignore your doubts? Why did you still try? Something about this from the very beginning told you this was probably a bad job. But it's like, but again, dang it, you had to try. There's a Lover's connection, right? All right. You gave me a very simple summary of why it's broken, and there's not much point going back to that particular drawing board. Okay, fair. But there's more to it than that. I see it over here. Queen of Wands is at your crown. The Hierophant, Four of Wands, because someone was in a commitment. It was either you or them. Somebody was already in a commitment. But the attraction was real. Okay? You seem to be aware of that now. The attraction was real. But nonetheless, somebody persisted as an individual. It's like, I got to put my piece on that chessboard, man. I got to see what it's like to make moves with that. I got to see what it's like to play that particular game. I got to see if I could make advancements. I want to see if I can take down that queen. I want to see if I can take down that king. That's why. Okay. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah, the Hierophant, Four of Wands. Indisputably in tarot, that is commitment. Even if it's not marriage, it's commitment. Devotion to a relationship. Okay? And Knight to Swords. Yeah, the bigger part of their actual everyday realities was devoted to a particular direction already. I have one person show up continuously as an individual, as I'm on my own and I'm not afraid to be, that speaks to independence and self and individuation. Okay? I believe that's you. The other person shows up with a sense of responsibility. Commitment already in play, but damn, that attraction is something though, ain't it? It's hitting a sweet spot. So, okay. I don't know if it went to a space of sexuality, but I know that was between the lovers and the attraction signals that were flying around between these two. Okay. That was there. It was there. The energy was there. Whether or not it was made good on, I don't know. That's up to you. You would know best, and it's not really a point of reference for me. I don't care. I just... I am seeing what looks like bare minimum emotional involvement when there really wasn't space for it. So if you wanted to put your piece on that chessboard, they did too. Okay? The difference is one of you is available. All right. So yeah, no, of course, investment. Doubts, that's where the doubts are coming from. You must have known, surely, this person was tied up already. And yeah, what would effectively be the point of trying to put any more work into this? It was going to be the same problem then. You're right. That wasn't going to change today either. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's why I think you showed me minimization. It's like, there's just no point. There's no point in discussing this. It's heartbreak, it's bullshit, and there's no way the other person will ever be available to properly invest in this. They were just attracted to me for X, Y, Z. So let's talk about the love then. Okay. Okay. Once more, this is where when the readings get real like this and they get kind of rough. Once more, I'm not casting judgment. I'm just trying to understand the cards. And sometimes it can be very blunt, like I just saw. I report. So it's either your reading or it's not. And if it's not your reading, check your other placements. If it is yours, maybe this helps you. Okay. Ace of Cups. In the past. Two of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the Lovers. Man, we really wanted to conquer the heart space here. We wanted the love on this one bad. Two of Pentacles, Six of Wands, the Lovers. There it is twice. Very much we wanted love to be the case here. And perhaps it felt for a while like a weird sort of triumph. If I can just know that the feelings are real, maybe this is all worth it. That's the problem with the Five of Swords there. Which, to be clear, it's not an issue anymore, but it was then. The past is tied to what exits. If I could just be assured of the love, this will all have meaning and significance. If I can understand that this lover loves me, like authentically loves me, this will all be worth it, even if I can't have the reality. Okay? Even if I can't have the reality, I can at least know that the love is there, and there's a sense of triumph in that. So I know you felt love for them. I'm confident of that. But you were never clear about their feelings, or you told yourself that would be the bottom line or the goal, something you could achieve. The reality might be shit. We don't have the 3D. But I have the feeling. They must do too. They must do too. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess before I can clarify that. You tried to hold the love for 2 people. And maybe even convinced yourself that they did. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Star. Oh, damn. Yeah, no, it was self-sabotage. Just a goal that could not be achieved. It was a desire that could not be achieved. The reality piece you came to terms with sooner rather than later. I can't have it in reality. Ace of Swords and the Star. It was an unattainable goal about that love. Just in the end, at the end of all this, if I just know that the love is in place, I'll feel like I have succeeded, and that this situation specifically will have merit, purpose, or cause, or meaning, if I just know that the love is there. For your side it was. 5 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the Star, but your dream, your vision was not sustainable. The more you tried to reach for to make it sure that it was yours, the more it hurt. Literally hurt. Okay. I think whatever this is had no intention of sharing feelings with you. Even if they felt them, they weren't going to share them. Not in a way that would give you the satisfaction you needed to feel connected to this lover's union. To make sense of it all, to justify it. I think that you loved it, and you even convinced yourself for a while too that they might. In the end, it would make this all worthwhile. You know. I'm glad to see you left this situation behind. 6 of Swords, yeah. And with that, leaving it behind, the unhappiness too, that unbearable happiness of feeling like you were manipulated to play in a game that perhaps you didn't want it to be a game, but that's what it became, didn't it? Who was going to win? Well, you won in your own way because you were able to leave this behind. They won in their own way, I suppose. They get to keep what they already had secure. I wonder if it's worth keeping, though, if they were so attracted to you. But you win because you moved on. You know, you've heard the phrase, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And I know at the time, when you were caught up in this, it made sense to you. I know it did. Okay. I understand your vision. You really thought, if I just know that there's love here, no matter how this ends, I can feel satisfied and secure in a way, knowing it was love, and it wasn't for naught, or just base attraction. I understand. But it feels like we were lying to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was going to see that. I said, you're going to show me the 5 of Swords on that 6 of Swords. 5 of Wands, 2 of Wands. And there you go. You gave up. At some point you said, I'm tired. I didn't mean to be in a game with you, but I got to a game with you. It wasn't a game to me. But I ended up playing along with you anyway. I put my chess piece on the board, and I'll never forget that because I told myself from the beginning to not be here, but I did it any fucking way. So I guess in a way you can say you played their game. But you're the real winner here because you chose to walk away and stop playing it. You didn't want to keep receiving stupid prizes anymore. Whatever their attention was, whatever their affection was. That was an interesting 2-card fallout where I saw the 3 of Wands, 3 cups. It was very intermittent connectivity. Perhaps distance is an issue. But waiting for long periods of time for this thing to connect. The lack of frequency tells you a lot of what you need to know, or too much frequency tells you a lot of what you need to know. Okay. The thing is that you stopped waiting and you didn't want to keep getting stupid prizes. And I don't know what the prize was. Some exchange of what looks like attraction? An emotional investment on your part that wasn't being supplied. Or returned to you, I should say. So I don't know what there was to be gained from this, but I know what your outcome was, and I know why you stuck to it as long as you did. I get it. This will all make sense if I just know that they love me at the end of all this shit. Because then it will have had purpose, meaning, even a sense of destiny. No, it was bullshit. It was lies. It was manipulation. I really... Yeah, you walked onto that chessboard. You did. I don't think you understood you were playing their game. But I like how you showed me I got up there on my own free will and independence. I did it. I played, I participated. I had doubts. I should have listened to those fucking doubts. I got you. But for your part, I can see where the love is real. And at the end of the day, you just wanted to know they felt the same, and they never did. And even if they did, they couldn't tell you. So the cumulative result is that it felt like manipulation. And self-sabotage, too. You understood you weren't supposed to participate. But when you get caught up in it, you're able to make sense of it, justify it, and that's where the 5 of Swords is there. And you can see that now, and that's why you gave it the fuck up. And that's why I'm telling you, you win. You weren't going to win. So what's the best way to win? Not participate. That's it. You left it. The manipulation, the 5 of Wands, the arguing, the agenda pushing, the battle of wills, 2 of Wands, the communication with them and anything it represented by that time. So fragmented, so full of bullshit, so riddled with insecurities and doubts that they did nothing to assuage. No, it's just the divide was getting wider and wider. The anger, the hate, the frustration, and the mental fuckery was just going to keep going. So what you had hoped the end result would be mutual love, if nothing else, even if you couldn't have the 3D with them, ended up being, look at that bullshit, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, 2 of Wands. That's what it really came down to. This is what you were fighting over. Peanuts for the peanut gallery. Scraps of their energy for someone who was already devoted in a particular direction. So... I mean, again, you could say they won, because I'm sure that their commitment's still in place, but is it? Is it? That's not a prize there. Their prize was bought and sold probably a long time ago. Okay. I mean, if I know what they're saying, oh, the same thing you did. It was a very strong connection. You know, if the difference is that for them it was an excuse. For you it was love. But hey. I suppose you could say it's splitting hairs. But yeah, no. The thing is that there was wrongs on both sides. So you decided to stop being wrong. It was wrong on both sides. I'm not trying to downplay that. I just don't want you to think this person was worth winning either. I don't want you to suffer that delusion anymore. All right, the High Priestess. I'm just saying smiles are real cheap. The smiles they gave to you, they were probably given to someone else. Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. Intuitively, you feel that this represents a form of juggling. You're right. That perhaps it wasn't love involved in this so much as just active juggling. I literally just said what they did with you, they likely did with a couple of other folks, and you strongly suspect this with your High Priestess. Again, not absolutes, but you strongly suspect it. It's like this was done a little too well when you look back on it, when you feel your way around it, specifically with the High Priestess. You can kind of feel it, don't you? It's like I was being juggled. Like I said, smiles are real cheap. The smiles that they were giving you, the little attention episodes, I suppose you could say, I strongly suspect with others, yes. You're like, they have a history with it. I know they do. I was the idiot that was bringing my heart to someone else's chess game. That's my bad. I told myself, I tried to make myself believe that this would serve a purpose in the end if I just knew they felt the same way. I'll forego the reality, fine. I don't get a 3D with them, fine. But to know I had the heart, that's all I need. No, what you needed was to get the hell away from this. So yeah, I mean, intuitively, can you prove it? Maybe not. I'm sorry. Reality-wise, can you prove it? Maybe not. Intuitively, do you strongly suspect there was lots of loose connectivity, give or take, red coming balances, juggling multiple opportunities? I think you're correct. Can you prove it? Like I said, probably not. There they are again, underlying. Wow. For someone who was so protective of their commitment, they were terrified that they were hurting it or possibly end it. Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't be doing so much of that. Okay. But again, that's not your problem. I just saw that same character was under the deck. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're probably right, though. That I suspect multiple balances as well. It was so easily and efficiently done with you. You can't help but think, it wasn't just me. No. First and foremost, everything begins with the self. So it's not exactly that they were doing this to you or others, but they were doing it to themselves first and foremost, and then by extension, their partner. And then everything else after that is just a ripple effect. Okay. So, the way they compromise their commitment speaks to how they compromise themselves first. They think a commitment makes them safe and says they won't fuck up. It's actually they got quite good at connecting outside of it. Anyway, Nine of Pentacles in your environment. Sorry about that. This person keeps popping up. But to your credit, you've had a lot of insight over the situation. I really didn't want this to be about somebody else. It's really meant to be about you. The Sun, Death, and the Ten of Pentacles. For yourself, you are expanding as we speak. Major transformation over what constitutes happiness. You're rewiring that right now as we speak. In other words, the shit you thought would make you happy, we're changing that right now. And it's going to add and lend to your sense of foundation and stability. You're enhancing. That's wonderful. You're growing. And you had some very intense growing pains, but they have been fantastic for you. It's part of your journey. It's what you needed to grow and develop as a person and as a character. And again, once we're doing away with our old sense of happiness in the Sun, because in some way it included them, or you thought it did, and you're transforming that. It's like, no, happiness is to be found in your reality and how well you're doing there. Okay? Oh, you know, true vengeance is living a life of peace and prosperity, minus the bullshit. So do that. Don't get me wrong. You had a part to play. You know you did. The thing is that you learned from that part. And I'm happy to see that we don't play in the mind games anymore, and the delusion and the self-sabotage anymore. Okay? The Magician and your hopes and fears. Yeah, no, we take that, excuse me, very seriously, as one might expect. The Wheel of Fortune, the Star, the Ace of Wands. Oh, good, fair play. Do you remember last time we saw the Star? It was on that exiting Five of Swords that was tied up to the past. Okay, this feeling that if it's, bottom line, if it's love, it'll have all been worth it. Okay, no, we're done away with that. We don't reach for that anymore. That's no longer a star. That's no longer a vision. Your manifestation is to have something you can truly believe in. Okay, but you understand it's going to take time to unravel. Because the next time you manifest, you really want it to be correct. Okay? You really want it to be correct. So you're trying to be responsible for your manifestation. I'm going to aim it at something. I'm going to aim it at something powerful, something that is mine, and that is a proper goal and a proper healthy desire, and is a proper point of navigation in my life. And you're saying it's going to be bold. It will be inspiring. You're afraid that it might be the wrong thing because you know what it's like to manifest from the wrong point of view. Lover's connection aside. Lover's connection aside. It was not experienced well at all. Okay. Someone tried to meet you in that space and had no business. Okay, I know. Tower came down. It got confrontational, I have no doubt. But yeah, the next time you manifest, you're saying you want it to be right and to aim true. Oh, I don't blame you for that. Three of Pentacles. Like I said, I see you busy. And so you are. Yeah. You're changing your whole world, your whole point of view as we speak, and you expand and you expand. You went from a 9 to a 10. So you have not remained idle. I know that. Three of Pentacles. Queen of Cups, Nine of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. I see you're turning your back on anything that does not grow. If you in any way anticipate anything you're participating in is to be a time waster or to be stagnant, you block it. You won't have anything to do with it. Excuse me. And that gives you peace in your heart with the Queen of Cups. One moment, please. There you go. Oh. Yeah, I see you working on things, Queen of Cups, and you have one very strict rule that you will not be flexible with. If anything you're working on in your pathway or elsewhere is in any way stagnant, non-productive, or inconsistent, you won't have anything to do with it. That's it. It's a simple rule to live by, but very effective. You are interested in building into the new and not to the stuff that's old, broken, inconsistent, or non-growing. You won't have anything to do with it, like I said. Okay. These are the rules that you are keeping in check to keep yourself in good spirits, secure, and allows you to build into better things, more productive things. Yeah. But yeah, anything that you start that's new, you keep a watchful eye on it. Is something coming from this, yes or no? That's it. All right. Very good. Yeah, I know. You're making changes in your environment overall. But I think your criteria was incredibly straightforward about how you're going to do things from now on. Okay. Pisces, honey. This one was difficult. As we see, we saw the Five of Swords twice. I saw how you had to leave this behind. I know you thought you were playing for love, But really what you're doing is playing for somebody else's scraps of time that they had here and there to give you. Like I said, they're not the prize, and whatever it is they had to offer you wasn't the prize. They didn't have anything to offer you except scraps of time. Eight of Swords, Judgment, Ten of Swords. It took so long to see it. I understand. It took a long time to see it. But indeed you did. And when the time was right, you finally ended it. This is something, yeah, and you primarily, I saw the infrequency of actual connectivity. So I'm thinking this was what you might call more of an emotional connection based on attraction. I did not see frequency of connectivity at all. In fact, that was probably one of the biggest issues. Like I said, infrequency to the point that it drags on time, or too much frequency is usually an indicator in either direction something's wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and take a guess then that you two had to rely heavily on communication. And when you stopped doing that, that was you remained silent, or you enforced silence with them. It was something you didn't want to see yourself ever having to do, but you did it, and it hurt. Okay? Eight of Wands in reverse. You have no more words to give them. No more words. And that manifestation, King of Cups. Okay? All future manifestations will come from a clean place within you. No exceptions. Okay? An emotionally clean and available space in you. That's it. Manifests from the heart, the healthy heart, the correct heart. So it might be returned to you. This had no intent of returning it to you, but it made you feel like maybe it could one day, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, like I said, it takes two. I get a lot of shit about that, and I understand why. I totally get it. You only read from one point of view. I am reading from the collective's point of view, yes. And hopefully that collective has done some work and they put some thought in the situation. They can better understand themselves and see it for what it is. So for your part, I have to say, if we're calling a spade and fair is fair, you said, yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up step one. I was strongly attracted to them, but I chose to get on that damn chessboard and play their stupid... I didn't know I was playing the game. But I ended up playing this stupid-ass game. I thought love was the bottom line. I even talked to myself into believing I might win. I was nowhere near. What was I thinking? This is stupid. And if they're fucking around with me this easily, this effectively, then they're probably doing it with others. It seems to me, from your point of view, they have a lot of access to loose, easy, contractual connectivity. I think you're right. So while this might have been novel to you, I don't think it was to them. I promise you, honey, they weren't the prize. Their attention wasn't the prize. Their actions and behaviors and words weren't the prize. Never mind damn feelings. No. No. No, I don't. So anyway, I kind of dislike yours. It's 43 minutes in. I'll be honest with you, this one's a little too close to yours and theirs on the end-up scale, and I don't like it for that reason. Celtic Cross is really meant to be about your collective. However, you're showing me a lot of insight about your dialogue and the self-sabotage piece, which came up twice. Okay. And that was an important piece for you to understand, even maybe some tower action before you're willing to let this go. Okay. And to stop participating in it, including all communication. Because they just kept interpreting it as you're willing to play. I'm going to keep playing. And you're not somebody's dummy. Okay? So I guess my point is I'm keeping it. I saw progress. I saw a lot of lesson. I see massive development for you, which has been a process, I think, for a while now. Your foundation your empire starts to stretch out in several directions, and you're still not done. You're still not satisfied. You're still building. But you have one caveat. If nothing happens with what I'm doing, I drop it. It's done. Woodwives, adaptability. Okay. You fell asleep at the wheel, I suppose you could say. Number 19, the fallen angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Yeah, it's like, spiritually speaking, you weren't on guard with this person. You know? It's like your spiritual self went to sleep and turned a blind eye to this whole situation. I don't think that's who you are typically, no. It's like all your lessons or your rules or your feeling, you turned your back on it. At least for a while. I saw that Seven of Swords from the beginning, but you just couldn't help it, it seems. It seems. I know. A lot of people who are pissed off and looking and be like, yeah, I know you could help it. Yeah, I understand. I understand. You could help it. But at the time, it felt like you couldn't help it. I know. Okay? You could help it. You could have prevented yourself walking on that board, but you didn't. You fell asleep at the wheel. You went into spiritual narcolepsy. You fell asleep on your spiritual beliefs and your intuitive feeling too. So don't do that again. The point is that you counter-corrected. You left it all behind. You stopped playing. And that's how you win. I know how you thought you would win the game. But that's not how you win. You win by leaving this the fuck alone. Okay. Okay. Grove of Unity. Bind energies in the unified sanctuary of the grove, fostering interconnected harmony among all beings. In other words, grow what you can with the right people. Okay? Foster unity, and that's what you're doing. You're creating expansion that ties together several people and their efforts and what that means. But you're creating unity. I think you might have a very tight, community that's carefully cultivated. People who only share your common interest practices. You might have a very strong, well-selected group of people in your life that you are connected to, that give you meaning and purpose, and you them. You are very careful with what you cultivate and why. Not just anyone's allowed in. Or any old effort will do. No. Yeah, but for those of you who are not familiar with Celtic Cross, I have to tell you this. I hate seeing so much of someone else. I just strictly want to see if there must be someone else. It's understanding in reaction to, which you showed me a lot of, emotional, spiritual growth, that kind of thing, which you showed me. For some of you, this represents a 5-year process from beginning to end. Not that it's just starting 5 years from now. No. Or that it's this whole thing, just this is day one. No. I think this whole thing wraps up in a 5-year process. Because you showed me how we turned a blind eye to what it is we had to do for as long as possible. But the biggest thing of all, stop talking to them. Stop talking to them. That's how they got you to play. It's communication. It was your weakness or your Achilles heel, something like that. It was the communication of the words. Within 5 years, and they knew it. They knew, I believe, that was how to hook you. Okay. Oh, so many letters. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this one by one. Z, I, V, P, Q, E, E, F, G. We have the peacock, a bit of a show display. Yes, I know there was attraction here. I understand that. And it's done on both sides. I have no doubt you two got into a position where you were trying to attract each other openly. All right. I understand. Dove, sign of peace. Yes, you will be finding peace over this. And peace will enter your heart. Okay. This message is not for the person who's still kind of in denial about the whole thing. Oh, one day, they'll get divorced or they're separated and they'll come back and realize that, their love for me. That still kind of speaks to the kind of does directly speak to the Five of Swords twice, which you have given up. This is for that person who no longer wishes to be mentally addicted to this. Okay? What you felt was love was really just a bunch of fucking mind games. And when you figured that out, it became unbearable. How to keep you hooked, how to keep your attention on the line, how they could keep your attention in their pocket. That's all the infrequency. Attention grabs. So yeah, this is not for the person who's still kind of in denial about this. And that's if you resonate. This is for the one who needed to hear it. Do I expect... people ask me all the time, do you resonate with all your Scorpio readings? Fuck no. Absolutely not. I wouldn't want to. No. As it resonates. Some people watch just because it's here. But they know not to take it as theirs. You would know if this is yours. But for the Pisces, who this is your reading, you're not into the self-sabotage anymore. You don't have any more to feed this, to give it, or to believe it. Like, the believability is zero. It's in the negative. Fuck zero. It's in the negative. The believability of the situation or this person, their intent or their feeling for you, it's not even zero anymore. It's like -10, -20. So this is not for the reading for the person who's still going like this. Maybe one day they'll leave so-and-so and pick what? You of how many other people were they connecting to so loosely and carefreely? You know what I mean? Yeah, no. This Pisces is beyond that now. You have no reason to take this seriously, except for what it meant to you and how it impacted you and what you learned from it. Learn from the history. That way we don't repeat it, yeah? This person didn't learn. Don't let their failure of a lesson be your problem. You understand? Learn something once, don't learn it twice. Okay, that's enough of that. I am absolutely spent and I've got the other water signs to do. Pisces, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.